I want you to think about the last time you checked your bank account. What feeling came up? Was it dread, relief, or maybe anxiety, or just nothing because you've gone a little numb to it? For a long time, money was this background noise in my life, and I thought that the solution was just to make more of it. Like if I could hit a certain number, then the stress would go away. But what I've learned is that the stress doesn't go away just because the number goes up. This is because money stress isn't always about money. It's about how you've designed your life around it. And I think a lot of us are walking around carrying this weight that we don't even talk about. And we've been taught that the only way to fix it is to hustle harder, earn more, or even spend less. And while those things matter practically, they miss the deeper thing that's actually going on. Most of us were never taught to have a healthy relationship with money. We're taught to fear it, chase it, or feel guilty about it. And the way that we think about money as adults is almost entirely shaped by what we absorbed growing up. Maybe you grew up hearing things like, we can't afford that, or money doesn't grow on trees. Or maybe you've watched the adults around you work themselves to the ground and still barely make ends meet. Or maybe money was something that you never talked about, which taught you that it was somehow shameful or off limits. Whatever it was, most of us came into adulthood with this deeply wired belief that money is scarce and that it's hard to get. And that belief lives in your nervous system. It's why you can have a perfectly fine day and then see an unexpected bill and feel your whole body tense up. The first step to designing a life where money isn't a constant stress is recognizing that a lot of your money stress isn't actually about your bank account. We live in a culture that is really good at moving the goalposts. Let's say you want to make $3,000 a month and you hit that goal. So now you want to make $5,000 a month and you hit that goal. But now you need to make $10,000 to feel comfortable. And somewhere in there, enough never actually arrives. This is called lifestyle creep. And it's one of the biggest reasons people who make really good money still feel financially stressed. It's because they've never actually defined what enough means to them. They've just been chasing more. I want you to stop and think about what this means for you. Not what society tells you and not what you see on social media, but what does your version of enough actually look like? For me, enough means that my bills are paid, that I have enough to buy something without feeling guilty about it, and that I'm not trading every hour of my life for a paycheck. When you get clear on what enough looks like for you specifically, something really interesting happens. You stop chasing a moving target and you start making decisions with actual intention. And that takes a significant amount of stress off the table. I'm not telling you to just think good thoughts and manifest abundance, but there is a real practical difference between living from a place of scarcity and living from a place of sufficiency. The difference shows up in every decision that you make. A scarcity mindset says that I have to hold on tight to what I have because it might run out. And it says that there's not enough to go around, so if someone else wins, then I lose. And it makes you make decisions from fear. A sufficiency mindset doesn't mean that you have unlimited money. It means that you trust that you can create and find what you need. It says that there are opportunities available to me. This mindset shift does not happen overnight, but you can start practicing it by noticing when you're in scarcity mode. When you catch yourself thinking, I'll never be able to afford that, or people like me don't make that kind of money. That's scarcity, and you can interrupt it. Now, don't replace it with blind optimism, but ask yourself, is that really true? Or is that just what I've learned to believe? Mindset is foundational, but it has to connect with something real. One of the biggest shifts that I made was moving away from a model where all of my income was dependent on my time. When your only income is tied to the hours that you work, money will always feel stressful because if anything disrupts those hours, the income stops. When I started building income that didn't require me to actively be working every single hour, the entire feeling around money started to change. That's the design piece, building a life where your income isn't solely dependent on your constant, uninterrupted presence. For me, it started when I realized that I had been building a ceiling on my income without even knowing it. Every dollar was attached to an hour, and when I broke that connection, everything started to feel different. You don't have to build the exact same way that I did, but I want you to ask yourself, is the way that I'm currently earning money giving me freedom, or is it keeping me in a constant cycle of trading time for dollars and never feeling ahead? Let me give you a few concrete things that have shifted the way that I experience money day to day. Number one, stop checking your bank account out of anxiety. There's a difference between intentional financial check-ins and compulsively checking your balance out of fear. Try scheduling 1 or 2 intentional money check-ins per week instead of checking reactively every time you feel nervous. Number 2, separate your self-worth from your net worth. A lot of us have unconsciously tied our value as a person to how much money we have. And that means that every financial low feels like a personal failure, and it isn't. Your bank account balance is not a reflection on how hard you've worked, how smart you are, or how much you deserve good things. Number 3, celebrate what's working, not just what's missing. We were wired to notice the gap. What we don't have, what we haven't hit yet, what's still not enough. But if you only ever focus on the gap, you'll feel perpetually behind. So take time to notice what is working, what you have built, and what you do have. It doesn't mean that you stop growing, but you'll stop running on empty while you do it. Number 4, build a buffer, even if it's a small one. One of the fastest ways to reduce money stress practically is to have a cushion between you and financial panic. Even a few $100s set aside that you don't touch unless it's a real emergency changes how your nervous system responds to life's surprises. The thing about designing a life where money isn't a constant stress is that it's not one single decision. It's a series of small intentional shifts in how you think, earn, and how you talk to yourself about what's possible. And it starts with deciding that the relationship that you currently have with money doesn't have to be one that you keep forever. Wanting more doesn't mean that you have to hate where you are. And being okay right now doesn't mean that you've given up. If this resonated with you, I'd love to know in the comments, what's one money belief that you're working on unlearning? If you're at a place where you're ready to start building income that gives you some breathing room, I'll link my free 5-day roadmap below. It's where I'd start if I were in your shoes.